Hello and welcome to TV Chef Fantasy League. I'm your host and commissioner, Mike Cabalon. With me is my co-host, Sierra Cato. Our other co-host, Iffy Wadiway, is not here. He is in New York. I would plug his show. I'm realizing right now in this moment I should have researched what show he's on. Do you know? 20-Sided Tavern, maybe?
Oh, I like the sound of that.
He's doing one of the nerd shows in New
Right
York. Yeah. We'll find out. You could also look it up. Just Google Iffy Wadiway.
It is 20-Sided Tavern.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Yay!
producer
Thank you,
Val. So that's what Iffy is doing. He's very busy being an off-Broadway star in New York while we languish here in Los Angeles.
I mean, we're also not on Broadway.
We're also not on Broadway, so
not that
by
not
that measure,
close.
yeah.
Not as close as he is.
He'll be back. So for now, it's just us. And this is our first show back the New Year. Well, our final New Year's show aired on New Year's Day. So that was the technical first show of the year. This is the first one we're recording this year. How are your holidays? Give me the lowdown.
Yeah, pretty calm. Stuck around town here in LA because my family's out here.
Sure.
So, doing the family stuff,
Yeah.
but not too much family stuff. I think
Important to have a balance.
I do my hours. I clock in, I clock out.
Yeah, okay.
No, they're lovely, and it was fun to I have a nephew, which makes I think Christmas more fun.
And how old's this nephew?
He's 3 now.
Okay.
And so there's a little more fanfare when the youngest is no longer 30 years old.
Yeah. There's fresh
Yeah.
blood in the family.
Yeah, thank God for that.
Okay, that's
the
fun.
bloodline continues, as they say. Mike, how about you?
It was good. My fiance and I, we've done this a couple of years now, where we do my family in Las Vegas on Christmas Eve, and then we take a red eye or some version thereof and land in New Jersey to see her family Christmas Day, which sounds crazier than it is, because it's like a 5-6 hour flight depending, and so you can sleep on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the easiest day of the year to travel because no one's at the airport. It's like not busy at all.
Right.
So it's actually not that bad.
That's kind of a hack. I would stop.
Yeah.
I wouldn't air that.
I should have gate kept that.
Yeah. Now next year it's gonna be packed that day. But that makes sense because people want to be in the spot in wherever they're going.
Yeah.
Christmas
They don't want to travel
Eve.
on Christmas Day.
Right.
Yeah.
And Christmas Day.
So it kind of works out for us. Any this is a food podcast. Any food adventures? Anything notable?
Oh, I mean, yes, we do. I would say my family's tradition of Christmas Day is we always make juk.
Okay.
And so this used to be a bigger thing. We would go to my great aunts and because there were so many cousins, second cousins.
Yeah.
There'd be 4 different juks for big pots of juk. And juk is what we call congee, which is like rice porridge.
Rice porridge, yeah.
But I don't know why we call it juk. I guess we're Cantonese. Maybe that's the thing. It's too long ago, 4 generations ago. But anyway, so bunch of those. But anyway, it's sort of the family Christmas has kind of downsized because my grandaunt passed away, so she can't. She doesn't have. She would host it. But anyway, but we still do the juk thing, and
that's nice. You still do 4 bowls for everyone?
4 bowls
or 4
pots.
big pots?
Yeah, we downsize the pot volume as well. That would be fun though if you just had to maintain the
tradition is to have an insane amount of food.
Right, eat for all those who aren't there.
Yeah, we had the opposite. Usually it's a pretty nuclear family situation, but this year my sister's been dating a guy for a year, which is long enough that he felt comfortable bringing his kids for a little bit, and then all of my nieces and nephews are young adults now, so they all had partners who also came, and then also my cousin was in town. It was just a much bigger affair than it usually is. Cool. Yeah, so
amazing.
There's a lot.
It grows ever bigger.
The other food thing that I'll just quickly mention, because I feel like I'm going to talk about this over the next 16 weeks, is I just started personal training today for the wedding, not for health. I don't care about my body.
It's purely aesthetics.
It's the day after the wedding, I'm going right back to a cheeseburger. Right.
You told him
to his face,
not healthy inside, just healthy outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I want to be ripped for a specific event. And then I'm going right back to doughy. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
But yeah, so that started today. So my legs are on fire because it was a leg day, and he has me on like he's doing my meal planning. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna talk to him I'm recording this it's just before 7 p.m. I have one more meal I'm supposed to eat today, and then I'm gonna text him. But so far the meals I've eaten today, I'm I can't do this.
What are
they? Okay, it is. So he uses this app that'll generate recipes. My suspicion is that the app is using AI, because a lot of the recipes are not even bad, just unhinged. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it could definitely be AI.
It's one of the recipes was for a burrito, and it recommended sliced cheese instead of shredded cheese. And I was like, that is the kind of thing only a computer would say.
That's computer talk right there.
Yeah. That's psychotic.
They haven't heard of grated cheese yet.
Right.
They're like, it's zeros and ones.
And then another recipe was for a grilled cheese, and it recommended 135 grams of cheese, which is, it came out to like 6 or 7 slices. And before I even put it on the pan, I was like, surely this is a mistake, but I gotta trust the recipe. And I made it, and it was still like an inch of cheese. And I'm like,
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm like, that seems like a lot.
it's too, I'm sure a computer would be like, that's the right amount, like calories wise. But a human being would be like, this is gross.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, that's so funny. So yeah. it's AI food.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna message my trainer and be like, look, I'm down to eat what you tell me to eat, but this can't be right, is it? this.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, no, that's good. At least you tried it out, and then hopefully he can like enter it back into AI. These didn't work.
Yeah, that's kind of yeah. That's why I don't want to complain yet.
Sure.
I'm gonna wait until after my first full day, so I can be like, look, I tried my meals for today.
Yeah.
I'm not a whiny baby, but just this doesn't. My flags are going up. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah. You did it. I will say, as far as AI food goes. One of my friends, like at some point, and this was kind of before the AI craze, so ahead of the curve, but he's like in the tech industry.
Sure.
Had like something. He kept being like, "Oh, I got this AI meat grill." I'm like, what
is that?
He like got it off of like an email list. Somebody was like selling it for cheaper, and he's like, "Well, it's like a meat grill and like probably like I feel like it's like a George Foreman thing where you like plug it in the wall,
sure,
but it's like AI." And I'm like, well, what does that even mean? Like, he would never really explain it to me, but I'm like, I think it means that like I think you put meat on and then it learns the best way to grill it as you put it on.
Okay, yeah.
Or like you put it and then it keeps learning depending, and then eventually it grills you.
It's like yeah.
But
it cooks your whole house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes over, but
it sets itself on fire, turns up its own heat to get your house to the right temperature.
Oh yeah. And grill all meat inside the house.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Perfectly sous vide. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what happened to that AI. I think he eventually got rid of it. But.
I appreciate the novelty of it. Like, if the creator of that grill was like, wouldn't it be hilarious if I tried this as like an art piece? I'm for it.
Sure.
But if he's like, this is the future of cooking, then I'm like, you're a jerk.
It's like you need to find other hobbies.
Yeah.
There's so many things you could do.
Yeah.
But at least maybe it's not as evil as some of the things.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things we can apply AI to, grilling meat pretty low, but yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Well, great. I'm glad we did that catch up. We still need to record our winner's dinner for Bake Off.
Right.
And we need to record our winner's snack for Bake Off holidays.
Get ready to snack.
We'll do all that when Iffy is back. What we're going to do today is scout talent for Junior Bake Off, a.k.a. Great British Baking Show Juniors, as it's known here in America.
Yeah, so cute.
I hate the naming convention change. Junior Bake Off is so much catchier.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal: is we don't know if this show will air in America. Right now, at time of recording, it is airing in the UK, and I have not been able to find any information online about it. There's no press release. It's like, and it'll hit Netflix the next day.
Sure.
So I'm assuming it'll hit Netflix sometime later this week.
Okay.
It might even be on Netflix by the time you listen to this.
Whoa.
We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to draft yet, because it might be pointless to draft if they say it's not going to America at all.
Right.
It could also go up on Netflix in like a month. I don't know. So we're guessing here.
Mm-hmm.
If this show does not come to America by like the end of this week, we'll figure something else out.
Yeah, we're flexible.
We're flexible, We improvise. We yes and.
Kind of. You more than me.
You inflexible.
Yeah, me very rigid. Everything
yeah.
I say has been scripted before.
Like a tree in a river.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to draft today, but we are going to look. They announced who the bakers are, so we can look them up online. We're just going to talk about them as prospects, as you would in an NFL combine scouting situation.
Yeah. I always like to scout before I decide. But yeah, it is particularly funny how not to jump in too fast, but speaking of sports,
hit me.
These kids love sports. Their bios, all of them are like,
oh, these kids. I thought you were making a general statement about society, like, these kids today.
Kids these days?
Have you heard about sports?
Oh my God,
kids love it.
Sporting. But yeah, these kids.
Yeah.
On Junior Bake Off, aka the Great British Baking Show Juniors, are all about listing what sports they love. And I would have too at that age. But
I have two things to say. One is, I'm so glad you did your research, because I did not. I sent
Okay,
everyone the
good,
link,
good.
and then I did not read the
Good,
link.
good.
Didn't have time.
You're in for a lot of mentions of football.
I'm sure. And the second thing I was going to say is that that doesn't surprise me because I feel like when you're a kid, you have this very limited scope of like what jobs there are. There's like a dozen jobs you can have. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
you can be a mailman, a firefighter, a ballerina, an astronaut, and like or like an athlete.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's no
well,
like
that's it.
there's when you're a kid, there's no like children's book that's like you can also be a project manager.
I mean, there should be. I'm gonna write
Yeah,
it.
set realistic goals, kids.
I will say I did get computer engineering for babies for my nephew, and I would write. It was good. It was cute.
Okay, I need to know more.
It had it's a book made by I guess a probably engineer / author now.
I would hope so.
And
I would not hope
like,
it's a children's author who's like, I got to figure out how this world works before I can write about it.
One direction or the other. But yeah, so then it's like a button you click, and it just teaches you the different like
interactive book
conditions. Yeah.
Like when we were kids, we had those like Disney books with like the little plastic chunk on the side. You remember what I'm talking about? It was like
and then you buttons.
Yeah.
Oh.
It would be like a picture of Simba, and when you turn to the page of Simba and the Lion King, you would press that, and it would go roar.
Oh, cool. Interesting. Yeah. It's similarly as advanced.
Interesting.
But maybe even cooler, because depending on what page you are, it lights up a light based on like the condition that they're teaching the little babies about. I don't know if there's much takeaway from that from the babies, but it's pretty fun.
I know there's like a whole cottage industry of toys out there that are like, we need to teach kids the fundamentals of coding early. There's like building blocks, but it's like, framed in a way where it's just like, this is how code will work once you're literate. Like a functional human being. Is the book you're talking about like objective? Is it like a crossword puzzle book where it's like you need to solve the page before you move on to the next page? Or is it more just like, here's what a computer is?
I feel like it's as similar as like there's a tiger on this page,
right?
And there's a lion on this page.
Yeah.
This is a lion. So yeah, it's pretty. It's not very advanced.
Sure. Okay.
It
I
is
wouldn't
for
expect it to
babies.
be for children, but I didn't know if it was like you got to. It's not like Where's Waldo where it's like you have to solve this thing before you move on.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Is like challenges.
I don't think it's two. I can't remember. Oh yeah, there are kind of like 3 buttons, and you do kind of like in order to get it to light up in the way you might want. I think you do kind of have to do a little bit of a puzzle.
Oh, that's fun.
There's also one for toddlers that I haven't looked at yet, so that one might be a little more advanced.
Yeah. Okay. Well, more to come.
Anyway, very exciting.
Probably
stuff.
not. We're not going to follow up on that, but interesting nonetheless.
Hey,
folks, if this is your first time listening to us, I'll say that again. Folks, if this is your first time listening to us, thank you so much for joining us. This podcast is part of the Maximum Fun Network, and Max Fun shows are artist-owned and audience-supported, which means if you like our show, you can head to MaximumFun.org/join. You can support us for as little as $5 a month or more if you want, if you're generous. That money allows us to do more cool things, put more time and effort into the show, maybe some interviews, bonus content. Just makes our lives easier and better. So again, that's MaximumFun.org/join. And if you're already contributing to the show, thank you so much. If you're already contributing, that means you're probably a fan, which means I can also plug merch. We have a Cake Dom shirt at maxfunstore.com. Right? Yeah. Okay. I never get that one right.
There's a lot of domains happening.
To me, I'm like, Google Maximum Fun and click around until you find where you can buy things.
Right. I assume like it's more about clicking on the image if it intrigues you, rather than hearing about it and then going to the domain.
I don't need to describe. Yeah. It's not like text support where I'm like, look on your left-hand side. Look for the home page. You know what I mean?
Scroll down,
Yeah. Anyway, you can figure it out. You're a smart person. But we do have merch if that is of interest to you. And it should be because it's great merch. Okay, let's start scouting.
Okay.
You're prepared.
I mean, I gave little things by them to kind of what popped out from their little bio.
Sure. Okay.
But I have lots of overall thoughts too. Just
Do you want to start with overall thoughts, or you want to end with overall thoughts?
I would start with some overall thoughts.
Hit me.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm very excited because I think kids with British accents are so cute.
Adorable.
It's gonna be so fun.
Let me back up. Have you watched Junior Bake Off before?
No.
It's the best.
Really?
It's the best because of exactly what you're talking about. Just like precocious British children. They're so cute.
So funny.
Especially if they get one of the wacky accents. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
If you get like a Welsh child, it's
Ooh,
crazy.
haven't had one of those. Haven't had one. Yeah.
And then also they are so uncoordinated.
Oh, right.
Like
Lots
to
of
be
dropping.
expected. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just their motor skills are
Cute.
not there yet, and they drop everything.
I mean, we got a kick out of that with Dylan in the
Yes.
seniors Bake Off.
Yeah.
The original, and he was a baby essentially. He had just graduated from Junior Bake Off.
Right.
But yeah, that's a joy. Excited for that.
It's so much fun. I do feel bad for the judges. They eat so much floor cake.
Oh yeah, that's good though. Gotta
Who are
build their
also
immune system.
great. The judges are Ravneet Gill and
Oh yeah, different judges,
Liam.
right?
I'm forgetting Liam's last name.
I
And
mean-
presented by Harry Hamlin. It's a delightful jury. They're all so nice to the kids.
Good with
Which is
kids.
something I'll say that it's not a huge difference with America. When we do like MasterChef Junior, Gordon Ramsay, his personality is flipped. He's so nice to those kids.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But yeah, also it's a separate skill, I think, being
Yeah.
good with kids and able to like,
Not
speak their
everyone has it.
language, but also
Yeah.
joke around. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited about the accents. I think also like the strange British phrases in kid voices. will be
Sure.
fun.
Yeah.
I already kind of saw some in the thing. Like there was like, and somebody's a expert at something like in a bio, and it was like, gosh, I don't remember what exactly the.
We'll
it was
get
like,
to it.
Ham is a ham on top. It wasn't that, but something like that. And I was like, what? I had to Google
A
it.
ham on top.
But I was like, I guess he's an expert. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I just think it'll be like when you said they eat a lot of floor cake.
Yeah.
It made me think of the fact that like kids be sick all the time.
Kids be sick
Kids
all
be
the
sick
time.
And these kids are a little bit older than I think the
Yeah.
like prime
Yeah.
pathogen territory
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
But I wonder if they just get sick. How does that happen? In this
Yeah.
week's time of shooting, but it must be short. Huh?
That's why I think so. It's broken up into heats. There's the heat A and heat B, and then there's like a grand champion at the end. And I think that's probably for shooting purposes because it's like you can't have kids out there for weeks at a time shooting
Right.
all day every day.
They got to learn about computer engineering.
Yeah. So I feel like once they're sick, it's just like you get them out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No snot-nosed kids here, please.
And they adjust for the kids like in other ways. Like I remember they all have like if they have to use knives, they have like those kids safety knives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They all have like step stools. A lot of them don't use them, which is again why things end up on the floor. Like I remember last year watching a kid try and get something out of the freezer without using the step stool, and just he was holding like a tray over his head. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna drop it, like a
Not the
flat
best.
tray.
Sure. I mean, to be fair, Andy smashing his weird sugar thing is like maybe also.
Yeah. So the
something
adults
kids
are
would
really
do.
setting a low bar.
Yeah. So at least we're prepared.
Great. All right.
Yeah.
You ready to get into it?
Hell yeah.
Okay. In Heat A, our first baker is Enzo, 9, from Somerset. I'll read all of them. Here's his bio.
Yeah.
One of our youngest bakers. Okay, 9 is the youngest.
Yeah,
okay.
young.
Enzo lives in Somerset with his mum. I feel like I need to read this in the British accent. Enzo lives in Somerset with his mum, dad, 5 siblings, and cat Dottie.
Oh my God.
He loves the great outdoors and often goes paddleboarding with his family, as well as caravanning in Cornwall. Enzo thanks his Nona for his love of baking, who he bakes with once a week. The two of them love to whip up pizza for the family, and Enzo also loves to experiment with bread and pies. Enzo has a variety of career... This is exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
Has a variety of career aspirations, including chef, murder detective, scientist, or NBA basketball player, which, given his height, his family find hilarious.
His family just roasts him.
That's okay. Yeah, there was a lot to unpack there, and that was the first thing I wanted to lead with. Is like,
I know he's 9. What if he has a growth spurt?
yeah. My
but-
family openly mocks me, and I'm going to put it in my professional bio for
Oh.
national television.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. But yeah,
For those of
it's-
you watching on YouTube, this is Enzo. We'll try and get pictures of all the kids up. A little
Very-
ginger. When
Yeah.
you read Enzo and you're like, he's with his Nona, would not expect a little redhead with freckles.
Right. What would you expect?
Take away the political connotations, like a tiny Luigi Mangione. You know what I mean?
Louis
Like
Jet.
dark
Oh.
curls, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Piercing eyes, strong bone structure.
Oh yeah, future valedictorian.
Okay, hit me with your notes on Enzo.
Yeah, well, I definitely was the NBA aspirations family laughs on that was like stuck out funny that they would just, crush his dreams at
Yeah,
9.
yeah.
But
Go back to Murder Detective Enzo.
yeah, much more possible. But yeah, that is cute. They do. I mean, throughout the bios, we will get a lot of career aspirations, which are
I can't
sweeping and broad, and certainly not narrow. And I love that because it reminds you, as a child, we had so many
Shoot for the
dreams and
moon.
possibilities,
Yeah.
and we could have multiple interests, and then you have to specialize,
Yeah,
or at
yeah,
least
yeah.
in this,
Yeah,
environment.
pick a major.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, man. I'm 17.
Yeah, Jesus, what are they gonna do? But yeah, so that was my main thing with him. Yeah, definitely popping red hair. I do think red hair on kids great for television. We love it.
Red hair on adults, less so.
Oh,
I'm just asking because you specified red hair on kids, and I was like,
I guess I think.
are you not a Jessica Chastain fan?
Oh no, she. Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot. As again, a striking gender. Yeah, I think. For kids, I think about like Disney Channel and like these like
Sure.
big, multicam funny, cartoonish
Yeah.
kids, and I'm like, gotta get a redhead in there.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna really pop on screen.
Yeah.
But
if you're gonna cast 3 kids to star in Harry Potter, one of them has to be a redhead.
Oh right, yeah, there we go. The
Yeah.
Weasleys, that's right. So I think as an adult, sure, but it's hard, right? Jessica, there's only one Jessica Chastain, and she kind of also looks like that other
Bryce
woman.
Dallas
Yeah,
Howard.
yeah. So
Yeah.
there are 2 Jessica Chastains at the end of the day, but yeah.
Okay, as a prospect, I actually think. Look, I haven't looked at the whole field here. I'm gonna put Enzo pretty high because he bakes with his Nona once a week.
Yeah,
It's pretty
repetition.
strong baking genes. If like you got your Italian grandma just like showing you the ropes every week.
I think so. Yeah, I would like to know more about the Nona. Like, is she?
That's true.
Is he actually baking with her and
Right.
she's teaching, or is like he gets to say that because like she's like you did so well,
Right,
and then
right.
she like fixes everything.
And
for
is
him.
she like? I'm picturing like Strega Nona, like old school Italian Nona.
right?
You know what
right.
I mean?
Who has?
But if
like,
she's
a
like
strong.
if her grandmother moved to the UK and she's just like a British woman, then I'm like, I don't really care that much.
Yeah, and even still, he's 9, so she can't be that old.
That's true.
So,
Yeah,
like,
she's got to be like in her like what 60s probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, 50s, 60s, somewhere in there.
Okay, yeah, but
Which is
yeah,
not
feels
that-
pretty. It could be pretty modern.
Yeah,
young.
yeah. There could be another generation there. If it was his great Nona.
Right.
Yeah.
She might lay down the law a little harder.
Right. Yeah. And her name was like Santa Maria or something.
Sure, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mama Mangione.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so that's Enzo.
Enzo.
That's number 1 in Heat A. Okay, Baker number 2, Ronnie, who is 10 years old, from South Yorkshire. Ronnie lives in Yorkshire with his parents and older sister Chloe. A keen gardener, he loves being in nature and spends a lot of time at his allotment, where he grows a lot of the fruit and veg he uses in his bakes. He also keeps chickens and loves to go fishing with his dad and grandparents. When he's not feeding the family with his own produce, Ronnie loves playing ping pong and competing with his under-13 roller hockey team. This is adorable. The kid stuff, the kid specifics. Okay, sorry. Ronnie is a whiz in the kitchen and often volunteers to cook tea for the family. He started baking with his nan as a toddler and still loves cooking and baking with her, as well as picking up tricks from YouTube. He's now a dab hand at bread and meringue. This, for the YouTubers, is Ronnie. He's already got the biggest smile in the world.
Styled hair. So
Styled
dab
hair.
hand was the thing I didn't know.
I think, okay, I don't know either, but I'm going to guess based on context clues, it's like, that's the British equivalent of like a deft hand. You know what I mean? Like he is.
Got it. God, he has it. Yeah.
He's got a
yeah.
little special
Dab
touch with
hands.
this. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And so then, yeah, I Googled it and it was like expert or something.
Oh,
But,
okay,
like,
yeah.
But I was like, dab hand?
Dab hand.
What does that mean? What's he dab?
There was another one in here. Where is it? At his allotment. Is that the British word for a garden?
Oh, I missed that. What was the context?
He loves being in nature and spends a lot of time at his allotment, where he grows a lot of the fruit and veg he uses in his bakes.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that must be like some sort of garden in the home.
A British allotment is a small plot of land that people rent to grow their own food, plants, and sometimes animals. Oh, okay.
Oh, so like
That's a thing you can
separate
do in the
thing
UK.
from- oh God. Yeah.
You can just rent a garden.
Yeah, maybe. Is that like, is he in a city or something? Is it like a thing where it's like, I need green, I must.
Yeah,
have-"
maybe. I wish I knew more about British geography so I could tell you that Yorkshire is like an urban or suburban
Oh,
area. and
right.
I simply don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, okay, anytime I watch a British TV show, they always have like a little backyard that's like kind of fenced
Yeah,
off because it's
yeah.
like, well, oftentimes, And then like it's quite expensive in London, so it's like any sort of land is gonna be super expensive.
Right.
So it's like, okay, here's a little. If you're really rich, you have a little thing.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So.
You get the estate if you're rich.
Oh.
Saltburn style.
Oh well, yeah. gotta go to Saltburn.
I love the. For some reason, under 13 roller hockey team is so funny to me.
So cute.
It's like saying like Pee Wee football. It's like it's such a diminutive, almost condescending way of saying something. You know what I mean?
Right,
Instead of
right.
just like he likes playing hockey, it's like he plays with his under 13 roller hockey team.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, I hope they're under 13. It's not like
He's
I
not
wouldn't
playing with
assume,
adults.
Yeah, he's doing roller hockey with men.
Yeah. Okay, I'm also gonna put Ronnie pretty high because he is a gardener and he raises chickens.
So
here we
was
go.
thinking like I was a little doubtful because we had
Okay.
Mike last
Yeah.
in the big boy season of he was a gardener and like it just kind of was like because he didn't perform as well as I thought because I was like, ooh, gardener, like that's gonna be great.
Okay.
And it was almost like your passion's gardening, that's amazing, but that's a lot of work in and of itself.
Yeah,
so like
that's true.
would you have time to also learn the baking
Right.
part of that?
That makes sense.
I don't know.
Mitch Hedberg had a joke about this that went backwards, where he's like, I'm a comedian. Sometimes people ask me, like, write for TV and movies and stuff, which is like saying to a cook, hey, man, you're a really good cook. Do you farm?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so it's like, to your point, it's like, yeah, working with one form of food doesn't always translate to being good at another form of food.
Sure. Yeah, and especially if you're like, he's got to go to school, he's got to do his roller hockey, he's got to do so many extracurricular things.
He's got too much going on.
I don't know if he has time to bake.
Okay, I think it's that I trust farmers with like flavor combinations because like if it grows together, it goes together.
Oh, interesting.
I think that they're more in tune with just like this is what this should taste like. This is what I'm going for in my head.
Cool.
And where they might stumble is execution.
Okay.
And so adjusting for the fact they're all children, all the execution's going to be bad.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I think he might get points because he'll have good flavors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it.
I'm going to push for Ronnie here. I'm going to push for Ronnie. We'll see what happens. All right, let's move on. Austin, 10, from Berkshire. Austin from Berkshire lives with his parents and older sister, Poppy Ann. A real creative, Austin makes his own podcasts and TV shows. Wow. He loves to act, sing, and dance, especially at theater group. And he's a huge fan of Strictly. I'm assuming that's Strictly Come Dancing, right? That's the big British show there.
Oh, yeah.
It just says
I
Strictly.
believe it.
I'd have to assume that's what it is. He is fascinated with aeroplanes and hopes to become an air traffic controller or actor one day. Okay, I already have so many comments, but they're still okay. Hoping to soar above the competition, Austin first started baking at preschool and learned the basics from his mom and dad, who both love cooking. Now he gets a lot of inspiration from cooking shows such as The Great British Bake Off, Matilda Ramsey, and The Hairy Bikers. A great planner, he likes to put his own spin on a classic, and a lot of his bakes are riffs from his great Nan's original Victoria sponge recipe. And here is his adorable photo with his little chiclet front teeth. Okay, what did you have for Austin?
Well, also I love that they all do the same. They all tell them to do the same pose.
The same pose,
yeah. Different color pastries.
When I saw Enzo's, I was like, oh, he's holding a green donut with a red cherry. This kid knows color. And then Ronnie had the exact same photo.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Oh, never mind.
I think that's the pose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Austin. Okay, what did I say? Well, okay, I was like, because it's a TV show, I'm sure, and kids are tough, right? Like kids, especially, it's tough in front of the camera. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, he might be more of like a personality casting because he's a performer.
Yeah,
and
I'll
he does
agree.
his podcasts and his YouTube.
I have to
videos
know
or
what
something.
his podcasts are.
I mean, well, bring them on.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they got to get some who are just like great on camera, and maybe the baking is
secondary to the skill. Yeah.
For TV, and they're like, well, hopefully he'll say some good sound bites and we'll get some quips.
Okay, I just quickly Googled to see if I could find his podcast, and I don't think the first Google result that came up was him.
Okay.
All right. Okay. We'll put a pin in that. Yeah. No. I agree. I think wanting to be an air traffic controller is adorable.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. And kids love planes.
They love planes, and it's also it's outside of that box I was talking about, where it's like it's not one of the 12 jobs you're told of as a kid. That kid went to the airport and was like, I love this, and then his parents were like, you can be that guy in that tower, and he was like, that's what I want to do.
Wow. Yeah. Or an actor.
Which on the other hand is one of the 10 jobs that kids know about.
Sure.
Yeah. No. I agree. nothing about his little. It's like, yeah, he watches cooking shows. He likes cooking with his parents. That's
Cute. Yeah.
And his recipes are derivatives from Great Nan's Victoria sponge recipe. Which, no offense to the great people of the UK, but that's not
Oh, okay.
like the best thing to riff on. You know what I mean?
Didn't think of that, but yeah, that makes sense.
Like already taking sort of like a tired old
yeah.
stale recipe, and you're like, I'm gonna do a riff on this, and it's like, well, good luck.
Good luck, kid. Yeah. I guess unless he makes it better. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
who
think that
knows?
this kid's got Iffy written all over him because Iffy loves to pick a contestant who he thinks is going to get like personality points.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He'll get some good dropping some sponge on the floor points
Yeah.
and doing like a pratfall
Yeah.
because he was like hamming it up for the camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So that's Austin.
Cool.
Coming up next, we have Deji, who's 12, also from Berkshire. Originally from a small town in Nigeria, Deji moved to the UK with his family a few years ago. A former ballet dancer, Deji is a keen gymnast and loves trampolining. He also plays rugby at school. When he's not immersed in sporty pursuits, Deji loves to make bracelets, play piano, and create his own fun and fluffy slimes. Deji has been helping in the family kitchen from an early age. He loves science at school as it helps him to experiment in his baking and create colorful, elaborate designs. He would love to go to cookery college one day. And this is a picture of Deji.
Cute.
I'll say, based on his sheer size, I would not think he is a ballet dancer who loves trampolining.
Oh, cute. Yeah.
This kid he looks big.
Yeah. I mean, he's also another thing. He's 12, so I
He's
feel like
12.
that's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, the difference between 9 and 12.
I do think I haven't. A better host would have done their research. If I'm not mistaken, all of the winners of Junior Bake Off have been older kids because you simply can't compete
Yeah, you'd be
just on the level of motor skills. You can't compete with those kids.
so many. Yeah. You really learn how to pour into a measuring cup by the time you're 12.
Yeah.
I think, okay, yeah. Oh, and then, okay, his bio made me smile because it's just like so many different things.
It's so many things. It feels the most Nigerian thing in the world. It's just to be
Sure.
like, here's this overachiever kid.
Yeah. Try them all. I mean, I know, like, and then the slimes is cute because I just feel like that's such a thing that
That's such a Gen
kids
Alpha thing.
love,
Yeah.
And I was getting some slime videos on
Oh.
TikTok or Instagram. Like, it was weird because I'd be like, oh, that looks really delicious. And then they would like squish it with their hands. And then I'd be like, oh, God.
Never mind.
And then it was like a slime store where like it was like, get green mint, what do we say? Mint chocolate chip ice cream slime. And I'm like, I
Oh,
just want
weird.
ice cream.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you can scoop, and then there was like scoopability ratings of these slimes, and then
weird.
it's like some of them you can't scoop, and then some just great scooping.
What a
It's
huge subculture.
crazy. Sorry, yeah, I got in there somehow,
That is bizarre.
but yeah. So I hope Deji's on the slime TikTok.
I'm sure he is. I'm curious what his algorithm is like because he likes so many different things. First of all, okay, the first paragraph, it's former ballet dancer, gymnast, all that, but also plays rugby.
Right.
A kid this size, rugby, I'm like, that makes sense. And for the record, I'm not calling him fat. I'm not fat shaming a child.
Okay, good.
I'm just saying compared to the other kids, he's like a bigger kid. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And he looks like he's built for rugby. So to also say like he can do a backflip on a trampoline, I'm like, that's an athletic kid.
I mean, yeah, I think the thing, like, if you are a big kid who can do rugby, and then you can also do like nimble trampoline,
Right, yeah,
like I
yeah.
feel like that's so
Rare.
that's great for like American football. 'Cause you're,
Yes.
like, big, but also can
You got to move.
footwork.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I don't know.
What would not fly in American football is the fact that he makes bracelets and plays piano. That would not be allowed in an American locker room. He would be thrown into a locker immediately.
No,
Which I'm not saying is a good thing. I'm saying I wish the NFL would allow room for
if they did
players who like to make bracelets and play piano.
yeah, they would have so many better players, and they'd make a lot more money than they already make.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I love a bracelet. I think maybe he was trying to say too, maybe he has really good dexterity because he's like making bracelets, stuff like that, piano. And so then it's like if it comes to decorating cakes, like he'd be much more steady-handed.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that. Also, I think the last paragraph is key. He loves science, and there's two sentences back to back that I think are notable here. One is he's been helping in the family kitchen from an early age. To me, especially for an immigrant family, I'm like, do you think that means they own a restaurant and that he's been helping in the restaurant?
Oh.
Because that means like professional kitchen experience. And then the second sentence right after that is he loves science at school, which, as we all know, baking is more of a science than cooking is. Is he more precise in his measurements? Is he going to be more spot on with like say the technical challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's similar to being like, she was a chemist or whatever. Right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that is a good point.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Deji also pretty high.
Pretty high for me. Yeah, I think age and skill.
Yeah. I think the first thing is let's go for the olds first,
yeah.
and then leave the 9-year-olds as
Aw.
stragglers. See, this is all strategy that if he doesn't get,
That's true.
he's off gallivanting off Broadway.
I mean, this is what happens.
Okay, next up we've got Francesca, 11, from Belfast. Oh, an Irish lass. Okay. Francesca is hoping to bring, the luck of the Irish to the tent. She comes from Belfast, where she lives with her mum and dad and 2 of her 4 older brothers. Competitive by nature, Francesca plays water polo for her local club and is also a fan of Gaelic football and running. When she is taking a break from competitive sports, Francesca likes to sing. Francesca has been taught to cook by the strong women in her family, and in the summer holidays, she enjoys visiting her granny, who she loves to bake traditional breads with. Having sporty brothers around means that Francesca's bakes never last for long. Okay. Oh, sorry. Picture, sorry. And this is Francesca. Looks Irish. You see that kid from a mile away, you're like,
Very
that's a little
cute.
Irish girl.
Yeah. Little cute.
Okay, what do you have for Francesca?
Yeah, I thought it was funny that, at least this, I mean, I guess maybe little kids eat everything in the baking, but the fact that the bakes are getting eaten,
Yeah.
it's a good sign. It's
Okay.
a third party objective confirmation.
That's true. I think that the third party in this case is like a Hoover vacuum. Like
yeah.
little boys will eat anything.
Okay.
So I'm
yeah,
like, that's
fair.
not a high indication of quality.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I think I wasn't like nothing really stood out to me. I guess.
That's where I'm going. Yeah.
But
This doesn't talk a lot about Francesca. Actually, it talks a lot about her likes and her family, which is sort of, you know what I mean. We're not really digging deep in there.
Sure.
She might be I won't even say a personality hire. I'm gonna dare say, without having heard her speak yet, she might have been hired off the cuteness of her accent. Because
That's
imagine
true.
a little Irish girl.
I mean, it's gonna be splendid.
Yeah, that's adorable. But I'm gonna say she's toward the bottom for me in terms of baking ability.
Sure. Yeah. I didn't really have anything else. I think we'll see.
There's not a lot
she could
there.
She's also so cute
Yeah. I think she's
You know.
there for like camera.
for being cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be good. But yeah, who knows?
Who knows? Look, I want to root for everyone. I'm not rooting against any of these children.
Uh-huh.
But you got to give me something more in the bio there.
Fair.
Deji had like enough for like 10 kids. Take one of
Yeah.
Deji's things.
And each of them did kind of pertain to,
Yeah.
baking-ish.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
Well, moving right along then. They can't all be winners. Farah, 11, from Northamptonshire. Farah hails from Northamptonshire, where she lives with her mom, dad, and her 2 brothers. Farah loves getting lost in the world of fantasy, whether it's an adventure book or in her artwork. But her biggest dream is to be a pastry chef like her role model, Rav Gill, who is one of the judges of this competition, which is adorable. Farah has only been baking for 3 years, but already she aspires to run her own patisserie in Paris. She hopes to sell her signature matcha cookies, as well as her own twist on cinnamon buns, featuring spices that reflect her Pakistani and East African heritage. Here is Farah.
Tilt the screen down a little.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Here is Farah.
Cute.
Okay. What do you have for Farah?
So I actually had her as like, I think she would be a top pick.
Yeah, I
It's
think so.
Pretty clear. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
I think having the role model shout out is like pretty good because
Mm-hmm.
like when kids have a role model or like I want to be like so and so.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's kind of a motivator. and they
MasterChef
can-
Junior, half the kids are always like, I want to be just like Gordon Ramsay when I grow up. You know?
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah, and I think it gives like a clear blueprint and like a goal and like
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was really good. And then I kind of forgot about her. Those signature things sound pretty
Matcha cookies
mature,
and
like,
a
adult.
Pakistani East African cinnamon bun.
Yeah,
Both
I
sound
mean,
amazing.
That sounds like stuff you'd get in a real bakery.
This is what I mean about the bio, in contrast to Francesca, is that they specifically name, like, here's what Farah bakes really well.
I know, and like
If she had her own bake shop, here's what she would make. Whereas Francesca's was like, she has brothers. And I'm like, that's not saying a lot about her baking skills.
yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that if they had a signature thing they love to bake, it would be in there.
You would hope so.
So it makes me think that those who don't just like don't really have a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's Farah. Oh, I was gonna say I think that if he's gonna draft her, just because she likes fantasy
Right,
in an
right.
adventure book or in her artwork, so she's like painting fairies and stuff. That feels right up
I
Iffy's
mean,
alley.
it's a good, yeah,
Yeah.
good sign.
All right, there's Farah, and next up we've got Rose, 11, from Buckinghamshire. Rose lives in Buckinghamshire with her mum, younger brother, and 2 dogs, Ace and Tinker. Rose loves to draw, paint, and listen to music in her spare time, and when she isn't being creative, she loves to play with her neighbors and her brother on her Segway. Last year, she learned to ski, and she loved it so much she's hoping to go again soon. From a family of keen bakers, Rose has been helping in the kitchen since she was a toddler. She loves to make meringue and is particularly proud of her lemon meringue pies. To elevate her bakes, Rose loves using bold colors with confetti cakes and rainbow bagels being prime examples. As Rose is gluten intolerant, she loves to adapt recipes to make them gluten free so that even more people can enjoy them. Here is a picture of Rose.
Look at that
Okay.
headband.
She actually had me right up until the end. That's
Yeah.
okay, because they what we were just talking about, they name specific bakes. They're like, here's what she likes to make. Here's what she's good at. At the very end, they drop the gluten-free bomb, and I'm like, she can't go far in this competition.
Oh no, yeah, that's tough. How will they account for that? Because I'm like, you can't taste the stuff then. Like,
Yeah.
can
Well,
they
she
give
can't.
her- Yeah, like she can't. But like, will they do a? Because that's like everything. It's
Right.
not like one thing here
Right.
and there.
So do the judges
So-
go like, this is pretty good for being gluten-free, or do they just go, this isn't good?
Right. I mean, it's a core tenet of baking,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
know, and it's so hard. And I have friends who are gluten intolerant and have tried to see
Yeah,
what they
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh, it's still not quite there, but
Yeah.
I'm glad you found something. But yeah, so or it's like if the challenge is like you all bake the same thing, can she bake it with like almond flour or something so that
I
she
would
can
have to
taste
assume
it?
that's the only way it's going to go.
Mhm.
But it just,
But maybe
okay,
not. I
the
don't know.
analog I can think of is when there's like Top Chef or whatever, sometimes there's like a chef who's like, I'm plant-based, and
Right.
it goes one of two ways. One, they either suck it up and they go like, well, I don't know how to cook with lamb, but I got to cook this lamb because that's the challenge.
Yeah.
Or two, they go like, well, I'm a plant-based chef, so I'm going to cook this other thing, and then they get eliminated. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I thought maybe they would make a difference exception is because she's a kid, because
Right,
this is a
right.
kid competition, and they'd be extra like fair slash, a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like that,
One would
especially
hope.
kids, especially especially kids, because now kids have a lot of allergies or something, so maybe they would do like, be more into that kind
Sure.
of thing. But I don't know.
There might even
We'll
be a
find out.
whole week where they're like, it's gluten-free week, and they're like, Rose, you better crush it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody looks at her.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna put her pretty low on my list.
Yeah, that's tough.
far as
Yeah,
prospects
it's a question mark given rules and what they'll do.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think the gluten thing, man, that's such a
It's
central thing
yeah.
of baking.
I studied abroad in Rome, brag. And there was a girl in my program who was allergic to gluten, and I was like, "Why did you study abroad in the pasta country?"
Was she able to eat their pasta by
Nope.
any chance? Okay.
Nope.
Because sometimes people have a different reaction.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
hers was like allergy, like she couldn't have
Really?
it. And I was
Yeah,
like, there are hundreds of other countries you could have studied in. You chose to come to the pasta one. Anywhere
Pasta
else?
Town. Did she? What did she eat?
I don't know. I remember at one restaurant she ordered like the prosciutto e melon like appetizer,
And that's
and that was her whole thing.
oh.
And then I think she got a lot of the like secondi, just like
Oh.
a meat
Right.
or like a fish. But I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Th-
you can
it's what they're
go
known
many
for.
other
Yeah,
places.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Hmm.
Anyway,
Well.
I hope she's doing well. And finally, closing out Heat A is Lola, 10, from Leicestershire. Lola lives in Leicestershire with her parents and little sister Elsa. She's currently a yellow belt in karate and would love to win Olympic gold one day. When she's not in the dojo, Lola loves karaoke with her cousins and dancing with her dad, who is a dance teacher originally from Cuba. Lola has been baking since she was 5, starting out using basic supermarket kits. She's honed her skills with help from her mom and by watching cookery programs. I'm sorry. It was the combination of referring to it as cookery programs instead of cooking shows, and also that programs is spelled MMES.
right, yes.
It was
Bizarro.
a very British 2 words. Sorry. Okay. Now she loves to experiment with different flavors such as coconut, lemon, and various spices. She is particularly proud of her signature pinata cake. One day Lola would love to be a pastry chef or run her own cafe. Here is a picture of Lola.
Oh.
Okay, hit me with your thoughts. Closing out Heat
Yeah,
A.
I was thinking maybe like even maybe she'd be second pick for me. I
Oh,
was
that's
pretty
pretty
impressed.
high.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I kind of liked hearing that she started really young and
Mm-hmm.
started at a basic thing, and then the trajectory to like watching these programs because it feels like it's like initiative. It's like
Okay.
she's seeking out how to learn things, and then she's like teaching herself. Which I guess
Okay.
a few others have kind of said that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that yeah, and then wait, her what the Olympian thing was pretty funny. Oh yeah, and then she like fights and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. She's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
yellow belt in karate and wants to win Olympic gold one day.
That's cute. I like that. She can fight her way out of a problem. if anybody comes,
If
and
anybody
attacks,
disagrees,
yeah,
she'll just
yeah,
punch him in the face.
she can defend.
I'm
So.
actually kind of, I don't know. Okay, I go back and forth. Here's what I have in the plus column is that she's half Cuban.
Mm-hmm.
And if you live in
right,
LA,
yeah.
you know Porto's Bakery, you know that them Cubans can bake.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Here's what I put in the con column is that her signature is a piñata cake, which, if I'm not mistaken, is just a cake with stuff inside,
Okay.
which is like cool.
Mhm.
It's one of those things that I think younger people gravitate toward because it looks cool, but it's not necessarily a sound demonstration of baking. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
It's
okay,
more of like a
yeah.
construction thing.
But there's a lot of well, according to the adult Bake Off or whatever, there was a
That's
lot of
true.
construction-y based
You're right.
things.
But I just mean like,
see what
is
you
the
mean.
cake as opposed
They
to
would still have
actually
taste it. Mhm.
in defense of Austin, who I was trashing earlier, who's like, I do riffs on my
Trashed.
nan's like Victoria sponge cake. I'm like, okay, well, he knows the basics of a Victoria sponge cake,
Sure.
which is more than I can say for Lola based on this bio that I'm reading.
Wow.
So I don't know.
Interesting.
You know, I'm gonna let you have her.
I mean, I will say after going back over, like I forget that she's only 10, so I'm like maybe
Oh, right,
it
there's
would be
also that.
it's probably more of a like Farah than Deji. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, all
Who
right.
knows?
Well, look, that's the end of Heat A. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll cover Heat B. Does that help, Val, to put in a little break for commercials there?
Yeah, why the hell not?
Great. Why the hell not? Okay. And we'll come back. And we're back. Here we go with Heat B, the rest of the bakers for Junior Bake Off. First off, we've got Ben, 9, from London. One of our younger bakers. Ben lives in London with his mom, dad, and older brother Sebastian. Ben is football mad. He practices every day and plays matches at the weekends. His teammates love it when he brings bakes for them to try. Sporty through and through, he also loves cricket, athletics, and tennis. When he's not running on the pitch, Ben loves to rock out to AC/DC, Metallica, and other classic rock bands. Ben has been baking for as long as he could hold a wooden spoon, and he loves to be inspired by an occasion such as Halloween. Ben is the winner of a baking competition for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee Street Party, winning £5 for his original design. Here's a photo of Ben.
Look at those ears.
Just the photo got Val to laugh.
He's cute.
He is cute. Yeah, those are large ears. Okay, I'll go ahead and say he didn't have me up until the end. I was like, I'm not impressed, I'm not impressed, I'm not impressed. He won the Queen's Platinum Jubilee Street Party, won £5. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, definitely any winning of a competition,
Yeah.
we know that really helps.
Yeah, I agree.
He is, but then I'm like 5, so I'm like,
Yeah,
how,
I'm like, I don't
how
know.
big is this competition, right? Is it like, what is a queen? It's like the Queens. Is that the
Yeah,
Queen?
I don't know, but if I think about even the smallest scale competition, I'm like, okay, let's call it like a neighborhood block party.
Yeah.
That means he's
That's
like,
still,
that's still pretty
yeah.
good.
and you still like were baking to compete, which is
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
of its own skill.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I definitely was like, when I saw that, I was like, ooh, that's huge.
yeah.
But I am still like, he is 9, so I think he'll be a great 9-year-old.
Great 9. Yeah.
But maybe it would still be hard to beat like a good 12-year-old.
Yeah, I agree. He's like I don't know how many rounds of drafts there are or will be, but I'm going to call it like a 4th or 5th round pick. You know what I mean? A solid 4th or 5th round pick.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, moving on. Kingston, 11, from Cambridgeshire. Kingston splits his time between his parents' homes in Cambridgeshire and London. He has an older brother, Marley, and a chihuahua called Tinkerbell. Kingston is football obsessed and hedges his bets by supporting 2 teams. He's loyal to local team Cambridge United, but also follows Tottenham. Kingston started baking his Nana's delicious recipes at an early age. He now gets brownie points sending his mum into work with a box full of sweet treats for her and her colleagues. Here is a picture of Kingston. Okay. I'm going to also file this under not a lot going on in the bio.
Yeah, because it's a lot about, again, yeah, like kind of just
Just sheer size.
where
It's
he
like less
is.
sentences. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
yes, yes.
So that's not great to me. What did you have for Kingston?
Yeah, I mean, the only information is really like the treats at the end. I mean, the baking,
Yeah.
the recipes, okay. Like, I feel like, you know, I kind of think back to like as a kid, baking was a fun activity. So I think if I were
Sure.
cooking, I would probably bake.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, of course I would follow family recipes,
Right.
but I wasn't
Every
a good
kid's doing that.
baker. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the treats, it's like, okay, it's his mom, so she could be like, okay, great, taking this to
Mhm,
work for
mhm.
my colleagues.
Right.
and then
And
like,
even if she
cute.
does, she probably does.
Oh,
Even
no.
if she does, it's like imagine if one of your coworkers came in and was like, "Here, my son made these. Aren't they hilarious?" Do you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, and be like, oh my
doesn't
god, he's
necessarily mean
getting
they're
better.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I guess, yeah, if he's making multiple every few, I don't know how frequently he's doing this, then it
Sure.
inevitably gets better. But yeah, very minimal information there.
If I'm gonna make an inference about his character, if he's loyal to two football teams, I'm like, I don't trust you.
Oh my god,
You got to pick a lane.
that's yeah,
You
yeah.
can
You're
root
right.
for the Angels and the Dodgers, the Yankees
Sure.
and the Mets. Get out of
Yeah.
here.
Again, yeah, these kids they got to grow up and pick a specialty.
All right, so I want to put Kingston pretty low on my list. All right, next we've got Jay, 12, from Worcestershire. Jay lives in Worcestershire with his mom, dad, and dog, Buddy. Jay is big into sports. Okay, this is the third boy in a row in Heat B
I'm
where the
sa-
first sentence is like, he loves sports.
I'm saying that, yeah, every kid is just like, especially Heat B, they're just like fiending for football. It's like,
Why?
it's truly funny. Well, I mean, it is huge there.
No, sure,
So
but
I
I mean,
guess
like,
so.
why sort them all into the same? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
right. I guess maybe they like ask him, "What are you into?" Or like maybe that's just they couldn't think of anything else. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. Kids only have like the answers to
Yeah.
like 10 questions about themselves.
Right. Favorite
It's
color.
like, I'm 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite color. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Jay's big into sports and enjoys playing both rugby and cricket. He plays competitively for local teams and is a huge Leicester Tigers fan. He likes to unleash his creative side by building Lego and cooking and creating culinary masterpieces. A big believer in cooking from scratch, Jay's mom has always tried to incorporate their diverse heritage into family cooking, which Jay has been helping with since the age of 4. He would one day love to run his own coffee and cake shop. Here's a picture of Jay. They did say like multicultural heritage, did not say which. And he does look sort of just like generically brown. In Hollywood, we would say ethnically ambiguous.
Sure.
Could play anything.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes Jay is like South Asian, Indian.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Okay, what did you have about Jay?
I didn't really get that much either. It was like
Mhm.
the fact that his mom's into baking from scratch. So I'm like, okay, then is he picking that up or
It
what's that
it does
mean?
say a big believer in cooking from scratch. Jay's mom has always tried to incorporate. Grammatically, it is ambiguous whether that refers to Jay or to his
okay.
mom.
I thought it was to his mom, but I see it could refer to him.
Yeah.
Okay, well then that's a plus.
Either way, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
what? So what?
You're hard on them.
Cooking from scratch is like table stakes for cooking shows. You know what I mean?
Like that's like duh.
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
sure,
What's the
sure.
alternative? Making a box mac and cheese? I'm not letting you on a cooking show if you're making a box mac and cheese. Get out of here.
But I am wondering if it's like if that's not mentioned in the others, are they like getting a cake mix thing and
No, that'd be crazy.
the babies, they're children.
Okay. I'll grant that you might be right. I think you're wrong.
Okay. But yeah, I think the only thing is that he's 12. And
He
so
is
that's
12.
a good sign.
Yeah. He's 12 and he likes sports, so we know he's like dexterous. That's the most I can say about him.
Yeah.
He's low on
Dexter's
my
12.
list. He's not a strong prospect for me.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we'll see. Okay. Here comes another boy, and I swear to God, if the first sentence,
It might be. I don't remember, but there's a lot of them.
Joey, 10 from Norfolk. Joey and his little sister Eva are homeschooled by their parents in Norfolk. Never mind. Okay,
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
opposite.
Weirdos. Now I get it.
Joey is aiming for a future career as a private chef and in his spare time enjoys performing magic and playing piano. We could
Aw.
not be further from a sports kid here.
Oh.
He's also a black belt in Kung Fu.
Wow.
Wait a minute, and captain of his local cricket team.
You gotta.
Joey has handy forest skills and loves foraging for ingredients to add to his bakes. Joey's passion for baking started during lockdown when he got into doing, quote, cook-alongs for his friends, and he put his baking skills to good use by raising money for charity through bake sales. Here's Joey. What a big sweetie.
Oh.
Okay, raising money for charity right off the bat, like, you get points there.
Yeah, that was a big one. I loved the cook-alongs thing because I feel like also, okay, you know how there's like that theory that if you're, when you learn how to do something, the top-notch part of like really internalizing all that knowledge is teaching someone else. So I feel like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
if he's going like, guys, and then you add
Right.
3 things because that's gonna make it sweeter or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like then he probably logged that a
It's-
little
yeah, it's
harder than
locked
like
in.
most than just doing it yourself.
That makes sense.
So I feel like that's really good.
I think that also plays into what you're saying about personality, where it's just like he's good on TV.
Yeah, he's good on. I mean, then also too, I'm thinking as much as that is a thing that kids need to be in, aren't like a lot of them probably are because of just their generation.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, that, and then the fact that well, the homeschool is kind of funny.
Homeschooled is an adorable
gonna be
detail.
fun.
I love all this kid's interests. Performing magic is so perfect to me.
That's another. Yeah, maybe that's another good thing to know.
You need
'cause
a
he
lot
has
of
to
dexterity.
learn- yeah, he has to learn something and be really diligent about
Yeah.
learning that thing. And
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
Execute
I'm
it.
talking just like in a vacuum, I love magic,
Sure,
but
sure.
also in the context of this competition, I think that'll serve him well.
Mm-hmm.
The forest skills, foraging, again, that goes back to like my thing about farmers. It's just like, look, if you can identify a mushroom in the wild, I think that means you can cook a mushroom in the kitchen.
Can he? I don't know about that.
I think as much as a 10-year-old can.
Okay.
I think
fair.
that's the only thing he has going against him is that he's 10, a little on the
He's a
younger
little on
side,
the younger side.
developmentally.
Cute. Yeah.
I like him. I like him as a person because he likes magic and he bakes for charity, and I'm gonna put him high on my list for that reason.
Yeah. He
I-
bakes for good.
Yeah, TBD how he does in the competition, but I like him.
Mhm.
Are you high on him? Low.
Yeah, I think I was because again, good story. I'm like, this guy seems like you're rooting for him.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we've got Lana 10 from Tyne and Ware, which is a place I had not heard of prior to right now.
It sounds like a brand of
Yes.
plates. Or
Yes,
something.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. Where'd you get this beautiful bone china?
Right.
I got it from
Yeah,
Tyne and
you
Ware.
Flip it over underneath. Yeah, perfect. I can see the logo now.
Hailing from Tyne and Ware, Lana lives with her mom, stepdad, older brother Louie, baby sister Isla, and dogs Neo and Diesel. A lifelong fan of Sunderland AFC, Lana loves to be pitch side. She also loves quad biking and has a keen interest in science and robotics. Lana has come to baking relatively recently, having started attending a weekly baking club. Known for her creativity in the kitchen, Lana tries her bakes out on her mum and Nan. Her most successful experiment to date has been her cinnamon rolls with edible glitter. Here's a picture of Lana. Okay. Strong prospect to me. The second you say science and robotics, I'm like, I'm in.
Oh, sure.
Done.
That's a good point. forgot
I
about
also
that.
have to assume that the family dogs Neo and Diesel are named after Neo from The Matrix, Keanu Reeves' character, and Vin Diesel. That's a strong, based on nothing assumption. Just a shot in the dark for me.
I mean, Neo, yeah. Diesel,
Come on,
I
Vin
don't know.
Diesel.
I mean, Diesel.
Could be Shaq.
Could be Shaq. Could be Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
Could be Shaq Diesel. Loves quad biking. Unusual for a little girl. I
What
think
is
that's really
quad biking?
like ATV off-roading.
Oh.
Unless quad biking means something else
Over
in the
there.
UK.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I think the weekly baking club,
Yes,
you're
I agree.
you're getting your reps in. But I think it was,
Yeah.
I guess I was a little hesitant because she's young and it said she started relatively recently.
Yeah. But
But-
weekly baking club. I think to your point, it's like, I don't care if you've been doing it since you were a kid. If you're not doing it every week, you know.
Right. And like this club must be pushing each other,
Yeah.
as any good club does.
Well, it says that they're experimenting. Because her most successful experiment
right.
to date was cinnamon rolls with edible glitter.
Cool. So she's good at like inventing stuff. So that's good. Edible glitter, love it.
Do you?
I've never had it, but the concept, I mean,
I don't think I've had it
wait.
either. I feel like if I've had it, it's like against my will.
sure.
Like I was at a bake sale and a kid was like, "Here, eat my cookie," and I'm like, "Fine."
Yeah. It's been on the floor.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
conceptually, I'm like, no.
I think it's probably been on like bonbons or something.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, glitter's tough because, I think my what I like about the idea of edible glitter is like just regular glitter, it gets everywhere, right? And it's notorious for sticking to you. But like then this, you can just eat it.
Lick it off your hand. Yeah. I'm kind of the same way on edible gold, like gold leaf on like a steak or caviar. I'm like, your body's not digesting that. What does it matter?
Oh,
It looks cool,
what
but, like-
happens? Does it come out?
I think so.
Oh,
But
And
it's
then
like you
get
do it
your
once
money
and the
back.
novelty's over. It's like it doesn't taste like anything. It's adding nothing to the meal, you know?
Yeah, I know. It's fun though. I feel like it's a thing at the mall where you're like, ooh, should I add the glitter? I was at a mall stand where I was like hungry and I wanted to get some chocolate thing.
Sure.
And then it was like, ooh, you can add gold,
Oh,
but I didn't
okay.
do it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was too expensive.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, ooh, should I be naughty?
It's like
Mhm.
I actually appreciate it from an aesthetic perspective. If it's like a tiny piece on like a chocolate bonbon, like that
Oh,
looks
pretty.
adorable.
Mhm.
But if it's like there's like a steakhouse and it's an upcharge, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, the steak thing that also
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
really go. I feel like gold kind of goes with chocolate.
Which is, as we all know, is a drastically different color from steak.
No flavor.
Okay,
think,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. We've got. Okay, I'm gonna hope it's pronounced Asia.
Oh,
And
I see that.
It's Aasiyaah. I'm gonna stick with Asia.
Cool.
And if during the show they're like, it's Asaya or something, I apologize. But let's say it's Asia for now. 11 from London. Asia lives in London with her mom, dad, and 3 siblings. Her 2 passions are ballet and baking, and she would love to open a ballet-themed cafe when she is older. She loves to bake for her siblings, especially her younger brother, Issa, and her baking confidence has come from helping her mom set up and run baking classes for the local community center. She loves to help the younger children with their bakes and has even created her own bake-off style competition. Aside from ballet and baking, Asia likes to upcycle fashion and household items, and as a keen member of her local scouts, she loves outdoor pursuits. Here is a photo of Asia. Okay, this girl's up top for me.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I actually ranked Heat B as much, but yeah, I think helping her mom run the baking class, that's huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's up there with like weekly baking club for me, where I'm just like, you got to be good at
Yeah,
it.
but I think it's even higher because she's kind of in the teaching.
She's teaching
you know,
kids.
and she's obviously she's around her mom who's also teaching,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just like in that environment absorbing.
Yeah, I agree. She's also 11, so she's got the
little
older kid
closer.
dexterity,
Mhm.
you know? And she likes ballet, so that's, again,
Yeah, so cute. The ballet cafe. I love a lot of these kids. It's like, well, I like this, and I like A and I
we're
like
gonna
B,
mush it
so
together.
I'll just put them together.
Yeah.
I think she's definitely a.
And then
front
the
runner.
last sentence was likes to upcycle fashion household items, which to me is
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like
Creative.
Christian from the real season,
Yeah.
Big Boy season, you know?
Yeah, big boy Christian.
Yeah. If you can cut and sew, then you can bake, I think.
Yeah, even though he kind of sometimes couldn't bake.
Yeah, but he made it to the
He
finale.
did make it to the finale, and we
By
thought
the
he was going to
skin
win.
of his
And he
teeth.
maybe should have won. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, just with the upcycling thing, that feels like also a very like creative endeavor
Yeah.
where you're like seeing different parts and then putting it together to make like
Yeah.
something better.
All right. Last 2, let's finish strong. We've got Jessie, 12 from London. London girl Jessie lives with her parents and older siblings, Isla and Finley. Jessie has been riding since she was 2.5 and prefers Shetland ponies, which suit her perfectly. Oh, as she was born with a growth condition called, I'm going to say SEDC, SEDC. Away from the stables, Jessie takes to the stage at weekly performing arts classes. It is her dream to one day become a professional actress and perform on the West End stage. In her baking, Jessie draws inspiration from her Scottish heritage, whipping up delicious shortbread, cronachon, and tablet. I don't know if I said
Tablet.
cronachon right. She loves nothing more than a traditional, it's an Irish word, it's a Gaelic word, I can't pronounce it. Chilid? We'll see. Someone's going to correct me.
It probably sounds completely different than it's spelled,
Yeah,
I know.
exactly. Yeah, I'm sure it's got like a V sound in there. With her family and has been known to help prepare the Burns Night Feast of Haggis, Neeps, and Tatties. Here is a photo of Jessie. Okay, I was actually kind of going back and forth on this one. Because the first half, I'm kind of like, I think she's a personality hire. You know what I mean?
Performing in the West End.
I think it's like, yeah, she can perform.
Mhm.
She's like an actress. She has a growth condition. I think that like gets a lot of like heartstring points for the audience. And adorable kid with a Scottish accent is always going to be like fun to watch. But then at the end, it was like, I don't know, she can make all this traditional Scottish stuff. Haggis, Neeps, and Tatties, you know what I mean? Helps with the traditional, from context, I'm going to guess is like an Irish or Scottish form of like a celebration, like a party.
Yeah, I think I talked about that.
So I'm like, oh, she's like working,
Sure.
you know, maybe she's got it.
Yeah, I think the Scottish thing was interesting to me because I'm like, okay, well, if that stuff is hard, it's like I don't know what that stuff is and how to make it. But if it's
Yeah.
hard, like shortbread, I think probably is on the harder end.
I feel like shortbread is one of the basics that like every baker should know how to make.
Cool. Okay,
You know what
so
I mean?
yeah,
As
she's
opposed to
got that
tablet, which
down.
is a little more.
Yeah, what is tablet?
I had it in Scotland. It's like fudge. It's like really related to fudge. It's like a white fudge, basically.
Oh, interesting.
It's fine.
Okay.
Most of the food in Scotland is fine.
Great.
Haggis, neeps, and tatty is fine.
Oh wow. Okay. There you go. But yeah. So,
Sorry to the fine people of Scotland, I guess.
But yeah, no, I think if she can do all those things, at least it all seems kind of different from each other.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
She has a wide,
Yeah.
array of different skills.
Yeah. I'm gonna say she's like a mid-round pick for me. She's not gonna be a first-round pick. She won't be a last-round pick.
Yeah, I think mid probably.
Yeah. Some
Middle
question
or
marks there, but promising.
Upper middle.
All right, finishing us out, we've got Bella, 11 from Cheshire. Bella lives in Cheshire. She is a huge rugby fan and the only girl on an all-boys rugby team when she's not tackling the boys as prop in the scrum. Bella loves performing arts, especially musical theater. She is known at school for her decorated cakes, which are often requested at birthday parties and other celebrations. Having learned from her mom and uncle, Bella loves to put her baking skills to good use, holding bake sales to raise money for charity. Here is our final baker. This is Bella. Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. Once again, I want to draft her just for the charity thing. I think that's great and adorable.
Love that.
Love that she's the only girl on an all boys rugby team.
Yeah, man.
I don't even
badass.
know. Do you think it's like an all gender rugby team, but only boys sign up, and she was the only girl who signed up, or do you think she had to like fight the system? Like, I deserve to play with the boys.
I like that one for the
Yeah,
for
better
the story,
narrative.
I,
Yeah.
they're British. They're so weird about gender. I guarantee it's the second one.
Okay, great.
Okay, there
Nice.
we go.
Waiting to see the inspired by a real story.
Yes. Yeah.
Bella's story.
Okay, the fact that the other kids request her birthday cakes,
Yeah.
I think is a pretty good indication.
That was the highlight for me
Yeah.
because again, it's a kind of like a third party, coming in like a competition win or something.
Yeah.
It could mean though, well, it's kind of like what we were talking about with the brothers eating anything or whatever.
Mhm.
Like it's kind of kids where maybe they just are like, it's sweet and it's
Right.
it's
Yeah.
colorful.
Yeah.
So she'll keep making it because
Yeah.
they want a cake. But
And she can make money.
yeah. But I do think that's and she's 11, so by then
She's
they're
11.
being discerning about what kind of
Yeah.
cakes they want. And
Yeah.
so I think that's a very good sign.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. I'm going to put Bella relatively high on my
Yeah,
list.
same.
Okay, I think that's it. We've gone through all of the bakers. So if the show airs this week in America, we will do the draft next week, and then we'll get started with this season. And if not, we'll wing it.
If not, we just got to know some cutie pies.
little
with
cutie
some
pies.
Great interests.
Yeah, great. If you have thoughts on these bakers, you can reach out to us on Instagram at TV Chef Fantasy League or send us an email at chef@maximumfun.org. If you're listening and you work at Netflix and you know if and or when this is hitting Netflix, please reach out to us because we would like that information. If you want to watch full unedited episodes, you can check us out on YouTube. Thank you to my co-host Hirakato. We'll be back next week, hopefully with Iffy. Maybe not. Either way, we will be back. TV Chef Fantasy League is a Maximum Fun production. Our producer is Valerie Moffat. Our theme song is by Dylan Van Auken. Our artwork is by Sabrina Volante. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube at TV Chef Fantasy League.